Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for graciously announcing my topic. Wake-up calls, cosmic kicks, and landmines. What I want to talk about is listening to life and paying attention, and what can be gained from doing so. I was a little surprised because this week I got in my email an email that offered a course in doing just that. And I went, wow. Then I did a little further research and found out there have been books written on it and whatnot. And I originally talked about this back in 1993. I should have done something. Anyway, as a point of illustration, to explain exactly what I mean by this, I'm going to tell a story about something that happened to me a number of years back. An experience I had was I took a cruise. It was a church cruise. I took a cruise to Bermuda. And so there were a lot of people there from my center, and we went on this lovely cruise, and it was wonderful. We got to Bermuda. Bermuda, if you know about it, is an island. And it's not a huge island. It's an island you could drive around in about an hour, the circumference of the island, maybe a little more than that, maybe an hour and a half. And so another person who was a friend of mine from the church, we were talking and we thought, well, we were looking around and we saw a lot of mopeds going around the island. So we thought we would rent a moped and go around the island. So we go over to the place and we arrange with this statuesque fellow to rent a couple of mopeds. Now, mopeds are like motorcycles. All of the controls are on the handles. One is go and one is stop. One is go, one is stop. One is go and one is stop. Okay? I didn't feel real comfortable with it, but I get on it. And he said, well, go around the block first. So I go around the block and I come back around and I'm just about half a block from where we started, and a policeman pulls in front of me, so I go to stop and I hit the gas instead. Bam, into the police van. That was my cosmic kick. That was my wake-up call. I'm sorry, that was my wake-up call. My wake-up call, I didn't fall off the bike, I just bumped it. But the police van obviously stopped. And the two police people got out, a woman and a man. And they came around, and at first glance, they understood that I was off the cruise ships in the harbor. So they said, how long are you on the island? And I said, just for the day, and they went, okay, well, you take care. And they let me off, but it was like, I saw them shaking their heads as they walked away. They were thinking, oh, tourists. So I walk the moped back, and I tell the guy, this is not going to work. I'm not really good at this. Oh, no, actually, this was actually a scooter. This was a scooter. This was the first iteration. This was scooter. So I said, this is not going to work. And then he talks me into the moped, which is a less powerful thing. And again, go around the block. So this time, I go around the block again, slowly. And I come around, and again, a car pulls in front of me out of this side street. This time, I'm not going to hit it. So I did go for the gas instead of the brake, and I swerved. So I go up an embankment and land on my back, and the moped lands next to me. This was my cosmic kick. I'm not hurt or anything. I get up. I'm embarrassed. I get up. I get the bike upright. I look around. It doesn't look damaged, so I take it back. I walk it back. This time the guy looks it over and he looks at it and goes, what do you think? And I said, I don't think it's going to work. And he looks at it. The only thing that happened on the moped was the license plate bent at a 90-degree angle like this in the back. So he said, what happened to the license plate? I said, I don't know. So that was before I was a minister. And so now my friend has been tooling around in his scooter. He comes back and he said, why don't you just get on the back of mine? I I still haven't heard the message. I say, okay. You know, he's been going around, so I think he's okay, right? Fine. Okay. All right, we'll do that. I'll get on the back of yours and we'll ride on the island. Now we go out on a main street. A busy avenue. I think it was, no, it was probably 2 lane, but it was very busy with shops along and everything. So he's going along, and son of a gun, he's driving, I'm not. Car stops in front of him, he hits the gas and hits the car.
Oh, no.
Now I'm thrown onto the pavement. Now I'm injured. Didn't break anything, but I get up and I'm limping. I pulled something way up in my hip and I'm like, oh, I'm limping. So we rented a cab and ran around the island. We did go around the island. And then when it came time, we had a meal and everything was okay, but I'm still limping and I'm in pain. So I go back to the ship, and it was a Greek ship. So I gotta finish the story because I go to the doctor on the ship's doctor, and he gives me some muscle relaxers. I was up doing dancing that night, Greek dancing. I don't know what that was, but I wish I knew. I'd call it by name. It was great stuff. I probably shouldn't have been up dancing, but I was. Anyway, I later realized that if I had really paid attention, because the first incident was my wake-up call, the second incident was a cosmic kick, and the third thing was a landmine. I could have been seriously injured. We should have just rented the cab in the first place. I should have gotten a message sooner and saved myself all that trouble. So we do get messages. And we don't listen to them many times. I've got one more little shorter story to tell you about not listening. And this is long before I was a minister. I was dating a fellow. And early in our relationship, I said to him laughingly, I said, if I didn't know better, I think you had the profile of a wife beater. I said that to him. And I laughed. And he laughed. And we went on. Now, I was with him a while. I stopped short of marrying him, fortunately. But he did become abusive. And I thought about that later. I thought, you know what? I should have listened to that little voice that said, you know what? This guy looks like he could be bad news. I didn't listen. Again, I didn't listen. So, my question to you is, what is life trying to tell you? Are you paying attention? Are you listening? Are you seeing? Because life is always trying to guide us into greater freedom and fulfillment. It's always talking to us. It's always giving us messages in a lot of different ways. Usually it begins with gentle nudges. And if we don't heed them, more obvious signals and signs will appear. And sometimes it can get ugly before we listen. Too often we still don't pay attention. We are like the co-pilot of a large airliner who informed the pilot, Bob, I saw the red warning light under landing gear malfunctions flashing on and off. So what did you do? Asked the concerned pilot. The co-pilot's response? I unscrewed the light bulb.
Oh, wow.
Not a good idea. Okay. But you might be wondering where the messages can be found. Everywhere is the answer. But how does life talk to us in a lot of different ways? And we can learn from almost everything in life. And there are messages to us everywhere. Some of them seem synchronous, like we'll see something on a bumper sticker that resonates or whatever. But we get messages from the circumstances in which we find ourselves and what happens to us or around us. Certainly the positive things in life tell us that we're alive and give us good messages and we're doing something right and all that. But so can we learn from adversity and problems. They can tell us things too. They can tell us what we're doing wrong. They can tell us how we might ask ourselves, rather than what we're doing wrong, what we might do better. I think the questions we ask ourselves are important too. We also can pay attention to our reactions to situations and people. How are we reacting? And what messages, what kind of messages would that give us? It would tell us how we're sensitive, what we want in our lives, what we don't maybe. Our reactions would tell us maybe that we had a better choice in how to react, or maybe how we don't want to react. And we can pay attention to our deepest, tune ourselves into our emotions and our deep feelings, our innermost thoughts and feelings, because they tell us the most, I think. Ernest Holmes, who is the founder of the discipline to which I belong, which is called religious science, he wrote a book and he said, we do well to listen, he wrote several books actually, we do well to listen to this inner voice, for it tells us of a life wonderful in its scope, of a love beyond our fondest dreams, and of a freedom which the soul craves. Our inner self is the knowing self, and it can tell us a lot about ourselves, about what we want to be, what we don't want to be. And it's not a problem if we find something we don't want to be. We can change it. That's the good news. So what is to be gained from doing this? When we listen to life, there's gifts in it. And by listening to life, to conditions in ourselves, we can learn a number of valuable things. We can learn what works for us and what doesn't, as I said. Externally, as circumstances, and within ourselves, what reactions and feelings we would change. We first become aware of what we don't want to do or say, or how we don't want to react. Then we work on doing something different. And I've got to caution you, it's not an instantaneous process. It takes attention and effort, yes, but it's worth doing. It's not instant, it's not that fast sometimes. It's more like my life in 5 chapters. And some of you have heard this, but my life in 5 chapters is I walk down the street and I fall in a hole, chapter 1. Chapter 2, I walk down the same street. Now I've fallen in the hole before, but I fall in the hole again. And when I fall in the hole again, now I'm blaming. I'm blaming the people who are supposed to maintain the street. I'm blaming whoever created the hole. I'm blaming myself for being stupid enough to fall in it again. And I'm just angry. I walk down the street, chapter 3. I walk down the same street again. And even though I know the hole's there and I've been through all that, I fall in the hole again. I beat myself up. I go through that whole process again. And chapter 4, I walk down the same street. This time I triumphantly walk around the hole. But chapter 5 is better. Because in chapter 5 I walk down a different street. That's how our evolutionary process goes. But becoming aware is the first step. The first step. And be gentle with yourselves, please. You're doing the best you can at any given moment. Congratulate yourself. Pat yourself on the back. You're doing the best you can do. You'll be surprised of what you will learn when you start paying attention and being mindful. Being aware, being fully present in this moment here. You'll be surprised what you can glean. What you can be aware of in someone else, too. You can be more compassionate because you'll notice maybe when someone else, more than you might if you're absorbed with your own stuff, how maybe you're not feeling so well. Maybe something's going on with you. Maybe I can reach out to you. You'll learn a lot. You'll be calmer. You'll experience a brand new calmness and confidence in yourself when you do this. You'll be the master of yourself in all circumstances, ultimately, and free yourself to a greater and deeper experience of love, of joy, of peace, and of wholeness. How about that? And with this mastery, you'll experience a new level of freedom. And Rollo May, who was a psychologist, had this to say about freedom. He said, freedom is the capacity to pause between stimulus and response And in that pause, to choose one response toward which we wish to throw our weight. That's freedom. In this way, with each thought and action, we choose one possibility over another. There are three realities related to freedom, which I like. And I think all of this is very true. Self-determination is having the freedom to choose our own fate, our course of action without being compelled to do so by others. And we should feel very blessed to live in a place, a country, that allows us to do that. To choose our course of action and choose what we wish to do. Another thing that's true is when our only priority is to make others happy. I didn't say a priority, I said our only priority is to make other people happy. Then we give up our own freedom. And courage. Courage is the willingness to act positively in spite of fear. And I would say courage is the willingness to be yourself in all circumstances as well. Just be yourself. That should be easy, not hard. No fear of rejection. No one's going to reject you if you're really authentic and comfortable in it. I promise you. And if they do, it's about them and not you. Frederick Bales, who was an author also, said this. He said, "Some people dominate life. Others let life dominate them. What makes the difference?" Good question. I think that being aware and being fully who we are makes the difference. Mastery of ourselves, of our emotional responses, of our actions out of it, of how we view life and other people. I think all of that is important to our influence over our lives and our experience of it. And there's good news and bad news here. The good news, it's all up to each one of us. The bad news, it's all up to each one of us. It is. It's up to each one of us to be aware, to enjoy and savor every single moment that we have. Every moment. How was that the reading went? Is a mystery. There's mystery in every moment. How glorious is that? There's no magic wand. We must consciously define, have a definite intention. We must make an intention, and we must commit ourselves to act in and out of that intention. That is the answer. We must form an intention to be more aware and more present in each moment and act on it. Now, I recall a sign I once saw posted in a construction zone, which might help you. It said, "The inconvenience is temporary. The improvement is permanent." Thank you for your cooperation. You could say that to yourself every day. And I have some tips for you this morning. Just a few quick tips here. Tips. Pay attention to yourself, your feelings and your reaction to things. Feelings can be very useful indicators and can teach us much. It's important to remember we have feelings and we are not. It's not that we are feelings, we have feelings. And feelings are valuable things. They teach us things and they allow us to experience life in a lot of ways. 2, if you discover that you react to something in a way that you would rather not, practice pausing before you react. Step back. Also spend time imagining and re-envisioning yourself reacting in the way you would prefer to react. When someone's angry and in your face, I'd prefer to be calm. That's not easy for me either. I'm working on it. And 3, practice mindfulness in all things. Cultivate the observer within you and be fully present in each moment. The magical questions today are, Do I want to master myself in my life? How much longer do I want to run on automatic and let my feelings be master of me? Am I willing to live my life as a positive experience? There's a good one. When do I plan to start? If not now, when? Each one of you is more powerful than you know. We are more powerful than we know. Each one of you is a divine masterpiece unfolding. And you're unfolding continually. I have a postcard on my dresser that says, I'm not done yet. Meaning the masterpiece isn't done yet. And Anne Maloney wrote a short poem called Clarity, in which she said, how can one truly understand if their mind is closed and their ears are sealed? Are you really listening? This is true in our interactions with ourselves and with others. Continue with the questions. Do you feel joy and serenity most of the time? Do you react in ways that please you or not? What do you feel most often? What is your most consistent emotion? Is it what you would prefer to feel? What do your feelings tell you about yourself and what you want or don't want? What can you learn from how you react to things? Are you listening? Are you paying attention? This morning, I want to invite you to join me. Let's start right now being mindful of everything and everyone, and ourselves and in our lives. Let's know that we can be empowered and decide how we want our lives to be, and that we can savor every single moment, whatever's in it. There's good in everything. Come on, let's do it. Let's do it. I love you all.